chilly today. You all ready? Thank you, Dean. Thank you, officer, for bringing our new Tesla over. It's a beautiful looking car, isn't it? And in celebration of Earth Week, Earth Month, we have shared some really exciting news on many different initiatives that we've been doing all across the city. Myself, along with our Councilwoman Tasha Diaz. We did, just last week, we did the monarch butterflies. Remember, we were putting in place the vegetation necessary that they could thrive and be healthy in our community. Doing all that right and straight on to the installation of new solar farms in the city of Yonkers so that residents, whether you rent or own, can have access to clean, affordable, renewable sources of power. So what better way to cap off this week than having the city's latest commitment to a cleaner, greener city. My administration has made it a focal point to reduce harmful vehicle emissions, investing in about 33 hybrid vehicles citywide, and nearly 24 more are on the way. Today we are excited to unveil the city's first fully electric car. It's the police car marked Tesla Model 3. Right over my shoulder, you just sort of ride it. We have a new Explorer. It's what they call an Explorer Patrol Hybrid vehicle, which is one of 20 police hybrid vehicles that are currently out on patrol all across the city. And of course, let's not forget our wrapped vehicle celebrating the 150 years of Yonkers policing. I'd like to ask the person who's been leading the effort for us in the Yonkers Police Department is our Deputy Chief, Chris Sapienza, and have him come up here and give you a little more specifics. Chris.
Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon. The Yonkers Police Department is enthusiastic at the prospect of deploying our first fully electric car in keeping with the Mayor's Green Initiative. Under the direction of Commissioner Mueller, we have appropriated our first Tesla Model 3, which will be assigned to the traffic unit. Aside from being ecologically sensible, this vehicle offers advantages over conventional police vehicles. They are faster, they require less maintenance, and their onboard computer systems are more compatible with current police systems. They are all-wheel drive, and they use a safer and more efficient mechanical braking system. Kind of think of like a golf cart. When you let your foot off the gas, it stops immediately, and that's kind of how these work. We are simultaneously building out our infrastructure to accommodate more of these vehicles, so you're going to see more charging stations pop up throughout the city. So anybody has any questions about the vehicle, do my best to answer. I have our fleet commanding officer here too, Lieutenant Forche.
What were some of the considerations in terms of durability? Like, for instance, you won't be able to use this on 3 shifts, will you?
Yeah, well, that's always a concern. The more electric vehicles you have, you would essentially have to, or theoretically, you would have to double your fleet, because while one car is charging, another one would be on the road. So our goal here is to put these cars out in units that aren't necessarily 24 hours like the traffic unit, get a feel for how we're going to charge them and how this is going to work, and slowly branch out into those other units. In the meantime, we have the hybrid units, which will augment these vehicles. Any other questions? We're very excited about this. These are great cars. They're very fast, they're safe.
There was a situation in Fremont, California, where they were involved in a pursuit, and the car died. But I guess it's a different situation. You don't have a whole lot of highway in Yonkers.
Yes, and you're also at the mercy of the car crew before you to make sure they fully charge it, and that's where supervision comes in. It's probably not a good thing if your car just dies on the way. They shouldn't have been surprised by that. But it's something we'll consider, and it's something we're going to work through, which is why we're starting out slow with a small number of cars to get comfortable with them. We first started this by going to Westport, Connecticut, and they were very pleased with the performance of these vehicles. There was a lot of misnomers out there that the batteries go dead, and especially in cold weather, and that wasn't true. We didn't realize they came in all-wheel drive, which they do, which is very beneficial to us. We don't have to put chains. We don't have to tie down Department of Public Works to help us gear them up for cold weather. We are working on some durability issues too. These tires tend to be a little smaller and a little more delicate. We may build it out at some point to use more police-worthy tires on the vehicle. But what's great about this, when I say that they're fully integrated, normally the lights and sirens and all this extra equipment that we put in vehicles takes up a lot of room inside the vehicle. And some of those functions will be right from the regular navigation screen in your regular car, in the same way it would be in your regular car. And that's greatly advantageous to us, especially when we're wearing a lot of gear.
Now, do you typically maintain your own fleet, and do people, what are the maintenance issues?
Well, it's going to be a joint effort. So these cars are under warranty. They have 8-year warranties, 100,000 miles. Our DPW is currently learning how to repair these vehicles, but from a maintenance standpoint, there's less to them. You know, you have a chassis and 4 wheels. You don't, because you have mechanical braking, there's not as much brake wear. So it should be far less often that we have to do something like that.
Chief, let me ask, how much, what's the price tag for each of the vehicles?
So the price tag is approximately $46,000, of which I believe we get a $2,000 rebate from the state through the Green Initiative. And then we still have to build out the vehicles with certain police equipment that we do have to put in there. So yeah, somewhere around $50,000. I would say under $50,000. The good news is that because of the fuel savings, which is obvious, we still have to pay for the electricity, but it's about 15 or 20% what we would normally pay to gas these vehicles. And between the less maintenance and less fuel, we estimate that within 2 years we're going to see a dramatic savings.
And how many of those vehicles is the city thinking about acquiring, and in how long?
Well, in this current budget, we're looking to order several more. And then by next year's budget, if everything works and we're happy with the product, we're going to expand. There are other manufacturers making these vehicles as well. We're also looking at Ford Mustangs that are also fully electric and all-wheel drive that are just coming on the market now, so we're going to explore using those as well. And the more this works, the more we're going to change out our fleet with them. That's all. Thank you very much.
Let me just. Thank you, Chief. And you know, I have to think about. I guess when you get this old, you start to realize. Remember, Ben, you remember cell phones. Remember, they're big and bulky. They were started out as $3 a minute, went to $1 a minute. Now they're tiny little things that are available everywhere. That where you can get unlimited minutes for $50, $100 a month. So the technology increases and the cost. Technology increases, it gets better with use, and the costs come down as more people use it. And we expect that to be the same thing with electric vehicles, that as we move towards a fleet that is all electric, which is where we're going. I mean, New York State's talking about 2035. The federal government, I think GM said they're only going to sell electric vehicles up starting 2030, they will have only electric vehicles. And so there is a demand that's out there, which will increase the cost. And of course, we know that the technology is there. And frankly, there's a lot less nuts and bolts in this car to fix than there are in the more traditional vehicles that we have. So these environmental vehicles are just very much a part of our expert to expand the options that are available to the department. So the Tesla Model 3 is expected to have a savings of 15 to 25% compared to the traditional combustion engine motor vehicles. And Tesla will be assigned, as the chief said, to the YPD's traffic unit. And This is all part of the executive order that we put in place for us to start using alternative vehicles and make it more of the standard of operation that the taxpayers should expect here in the city of Yonkers. So with that, I'd like to just ask someone to speak from the city council. I know that Councilwoman is here, but the Councilman John Rubo is with us. I'd like him to come up and to speak on this matter. You know, the city council has pushed us very, very hard over the last few years to seek out cleaner, greener alternatives, both making it available to the residents of our city, at the same time also making it part of how we do business in the city of Yonkers. So with that, let me just give you a John Rubo.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. It's too bad on a day like today we don't have a vehicle that runs on wind. It's a little windy out here. But this is another great initiative by the city of Yonkers, taking the lead in an electric vehicle with our police department. I want to commend Commissioner Muller and all of the chiefs and the entire department for this initiative. Hopefully soon we'll see garbage trucks that are all electric, maybe even a fire truck that's all electric, but this is a really fantastic step. And again, especially after this week, we had a great announcement about solar and these initiatives that we're doing as we continue to attack these environmental initiatives. So I just want to commend the mayor on this purchase and the city, and hopefully this year, as we get ready to dive into the budget, we can allocate some more funding for more vehicles like this. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. All right, any other questions? Okay, everybody, thank you.
No, it's off now.
Yes.
Oh, yours. You got it. Thank you. So let's take some pictures on each one. Is that okay? Want to get your guy's name in some of these pictures?
Yeah, Mark's coming up. You got Sergeant Frank right here.
Any other police officers? Is that it for officers?
Hold on 1 second.
We need another one to balance it out.
Maybe another one or two on that side.
You want to jump in?